I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the regular scheduled council meeting for May 26, 2022. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the state of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Egg Harbor City Common Council was provided in the following manner. Advance written notice of this meeting was posted on the Egg Harbor City Hall bulletin board. Advance written notice of this meeting was posted on the Egg Harbor City website. Advance written notice of this meeting was sent to the Hamilton Gazette, the News, the Press, and the Current. The meeting is being conducted via Zoom and conference call. The meeting is also being recorded to air on the Egg Harbor City website, channel 97. Roll call, please.
Mayor Petty. Here. Brown. Dash.
Here.
Heist. Here. Hesse. Here. Sefton. Councilwoman Sefton will not be here tonight. Timbers.
Here.
Trithol.
Here.
Wright.
Mr. Wright got stuff before.
Richie.
Joining right
Here.
Who's joining? You can try Mattia again.
Mattia. Brown.
Sorry.
Here.
All right, may I have a motion to approve the minutes from the May 12th meeting?
Second.
All in favor? Anybody from the public have any comments on any agenda item? All right, moving forward to the mayor's presentation. Floor is yours, Mayor.
Well, first, as we see the horrible events unfolding in Texas, and our hearts and prayers go out to those families, but tonight we're going to recognize the principal of our school, and I just want to let you know that if you have any question about the safety of our school, you don't need to. We have 2 SROs, class 3 officers, that are there every day in the school. All our doors are locked. You have to buzz in. The teachers have to buzz in. Our children are very safe in Egg Harbor City now. Sometimes things happen, but part of the reason why our schools are so safe is the reason I'm doing this proclamation tonight. Jack Griffith, would you like to come up, please? Principal Griffith has been, I have had the privilege of working closely with Jack for the past 8 years, and he has been absolutely fantastic.
Around camera.
He's been,
No pressure.
he's been a wonderful administrator. I just can't tell you how he has taken our school system from here to here. A school system that we can all be proud of, that our children deserve. And it just, under Jack's leadership, it has just become the center of our community. And I hope it continues in the future. A lot of changes going on here and everywhere else, but let's do this.
Let's do it.
Okay. So
You're gonna read that?
I'm going to read it, and you're gonna stand here while I read it, but then you're allowed to leave. Whereas Principal Jack Griffith has diligently and faithfully served the Egg Harbor City community for 22 years. He began his career in Egg Harbor City School District in 2000 as a guidance counselor at the Fannie D. Rittenberg Middle School, and in 2001 served as the building supervisor until he was promoted to middle school principal in 2003. Whereas Principal Griffith has the distinction of being the last principal of Fannie D. Rittenberg Middle School and the first principal of Egg Harbor City Community School. Whereas the passage of the new school referendum in 2007 and the subsequent opening of the Egg Harbor City Community School in 2011 propelled Egg Harbor City and the Egg Harbor City School District into the 21st century, and thereby enabled our youth to have the educational experience and opportunities that they deserve. Whereas, as a true leader does, Principal Griffith sees the opportunity before him to create a vision of greatness for his team, and with that team, built a superb school that would enrich the lives lives of Egg Harbor City students and their families. To do so, he implemented a plan for academic excellence, promoted a culture of shared leadership, and fostered community spirit and pride. He truly made Egg Harbor City Community School the center of our community. Whereas, under his guidance and direction, many new programs and activities were created both in the classroom and in the after-school program, to include data-driven instruction, morning meetings, social emotional learning, the community school promise, breakfast after the bell, at-risk after-school meal program, drama club, let us eat please, healthy schools, healthy children, a school garden and greenhouse, an outdoor classroom, a chicken coop, near and dear to my heart, my sweet chickens, the annual wellness fair, back to school barbecue, festival of hope, forgot a couple I had to put in there, family game night, March Dadness, and Peace Pilgrim Day, and my personal favorite, the metadata tag, hashtag Harbor Strong, which is now hanging. Don't tell anybody, it's hanging right in there.
It's hanging in my outfit.
Okay. Whereas upon Principal Griffith's retirement this 2021-2022 school year, I would like to recognize him for his steadfast leadership and countless contributions he has made to Egg Harbor City, and sincerely thank him for making Egg Harbor City a better place to live and raise a family. Now, therefore, be it resolved to honor him, I, Lisa Gimpetti, Mayor of Egg Harbor City, proclaim in perpetuity May 27th, which is tomorrow, Jack's birthday, Jack Griffith Day in Egg Harbor City. And on behalf of the City Council and the residents, wish him a happy and healthy retirement.
Get a quick picture, and then you can talk. Thank you.
That's the real boss.
Yeah, I know, because she's the one I have to call. All right, real quick. I remember the very first time I stepped foot. All right, I'm getting in camera. I remember the very first time I stepped foot in Egg Harbor City. I was 18 years old. I was a freshman at Stockton, and I had a photography class, and I needed to take a picture. I forget what the assignment was, and I drove down Route 30. I'm not from this area. I'm from North Jersey. So, I was just astonished by how rural it was, and came down and I found Philadelphia Avenue. I found the main street, and I got out and remember taking photographs of it for the assignment because I thought it was so beautiful. And, it's kind of nice when I think back that I can actually remember the first time I stepped foot in this town. Since then, I've been here forever, it seems like. I've been here for a long time. And I want to thank Mayor Gimpetti, the council for recognizing me tonight. I want to thank my family, because there are a lot of times I would come home and be extremely frustrated and angry and out of sorts because of the kind of day I had. And they sometimes took the brunt of it. And I'm proud of everything we've been able to accomplish here. I leave the place better than I found it. And that's all I can say when it comes to my role. And thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to not coming here.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Principal Griffith.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great.
All right.
Principal Griffin,
Yes.
before you leave, I'm Tyler's dad.
I know who you are.
And
And a couple of parents on. A couple of parents.
That's the same who I am?
No.
well, one thing that was special about you as principal of school was how you just encouraged parents to get involved. I just kept finding myself walking through that school. If it was a grant program, if it was March Dadness or these programs, and somehow, I had no problem showing up, which is amazing. I think I'm on city council because of you.
I remember the grant that you and your wife came and took part in and helped us because we had a big focus on health, and it was through Atlantic Care. We've had a partnership with them for forever. And, I appreciate that. I thank you for the kind words. Lots of, a lot of my students now are children of my students when I started. I've hired a couple of my students, former students, so it's time. All right, thank you very much.
Do you not feel obligated?
That's what I tell everybody at the Board of Education meeting. You can leave now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great, safe.
Thank you.
And I expect some kind of cards or something for tomorrow, like a sign across Philadelphia Avenue.
I guess I'll just go, I don't have much of a report
Yep, so
tonight.
is yours still.
The lake is ready to open. Thank you, Public Works for working so hard out there. I think that everything is just perfect, and I think we're gonna have a perfect weekend. Just remember that the badges do go up to $10 on Tuesday. 7 now, so if you do want a badge, you should get them either here at City Hall tomorrow from 9 to 4, or you can get them at the lake Saturday, Sunday, Monday for $7, okay? Our Memorial Day service is once again planned by the American Legion, Rudolph Elmer Post 158, and it will be at the cemetery this year again. It's at 11 o'clock, so I hope we get a good crowd out there. We usually do, so if you can make it, please do. That's all I have.
Thank you. Moving in the council committee chair reports, I'll start, finance and redevelopment. We're working on the date to meet before next meeting. So I'll have a report for y'all. Councilman Trithall, anything with safety?
The only thing they had that the fire department did respond to that large fire we had in the junkyard. I've had many meetings with Chief Kinsley, but not with the safety committee. So I will get together with everybody and have a meeting shortly. That's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Heist?
Highway, Keith is here, so I don't have to say anything, except he's doing a great job as usual. But I will say, I was on the walk the other night with Mike Sheraton at the lake, and you and your guys have done an amazing job out there. You're not done. We got plans for you, but what you've done so far is great. But I actually took my husband out there, and now he's ready to come out and start pulling things out too. Parks and playgrounds, like I said, I was on the lake, on the walk at the lake. Kim was also with me, a few other people. What a great gem that trail is. We walked down that trail. The mountain laurel is absolutely beautiful. It's just starting to bloom. Take a walk out there. The whole trail, it's like you're just walking through, better than the Philadelphia Flower Show, because you don't have to pay to do this. It's great. There was a woman on the walk with us named Ryan Gretsch. She's from the Pinelands Preservation Alliance. She was very impressed with the trail and what we had, and she came to me and said that the Pinelands Preservation is applying for a grant, which is due tomorrow through the state, to put rain gardens in communities that have their own lakes. So she would like Egg Harbor City to become one of those communities to join in this program. They apply for it, they come to us, we tell them what we want. They bring somebody out here to plan it, they bring somebody out here to set it up, and we reap the benefits. It's a win-win in my opinion. She may be on here. Ryan, are you on here?
Is that the resolution that I had to you, Judy?
Yes, I have.
That's what, we have the resolution, Judy was gonna bring it up in her report.
Yeah, she said she was.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what.
But the,
Yeah, sorry.
can't make a resolution until we like decide we're gonna do it, right? Isn't that the way it works?
I think it looks like a resolution to support the application, maybe, is what it looks like, the resolution.
Okay, well, that's what I was asking, if everyone would be willing to support the joining in with the, underneath their umbrella of applying for the grant. 'Cause like I said, we don't do anything. We just have to tell them we're interested and send a letter. I have to send a letter stating that we're interested. I don't even know if we need a resolution to
I
do
think
that.
we do, because
Yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
like.
that's the letter, that's actually, the resolution is the support.
It
Yeah,
requires
maybe like a
a
resolution
resolution and.
support. Okay. Okay. So. There's the resolution. So-
Any objections to the resolution? All in favor? All right.
I should be.
Can I have a motion?
Motion?
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Uh,
This is good, yeah. This is something to read it. The other thing with parks and playgrounds is he put new straps on the swing again. The straps were cut off. He put new straps on the swing. Someone rode on the swing. I think he took care of that, and I just came by and there were adults. You see that? On the swings, 2 adults, 1 in each seat, which is ridiculous, but what are we gonna do about it? I mean, they're made for parents and their children.
Do we have closer signage to it?
Is there closer signage to say what they
Nothing saying that it's for youth, but I mean,
Yeah, maybe.
People gotta
that's
see.
fine.
Yeah.
Ordinance, because we have one at the Kaboom Playground, that it's 12, under 12. So you could set an age limit and post it. Take a look at the.
These are
one.
the expression swings, right?
Yes.
They were for handicap.
Well, just small children or disabled children.
Okay.
You could take a look at the one at Kaboom Playground. And see if you want to have something we can adapt to this program.
Okay, another thing was, when my husband and I went back and walked the trail the other night, I'm jumping around because I didn't have a chance to write things down. We were coming out and there was a truck coming in with a bunch of brush and stuff in the back. I stopped him, told him, I'm sorry, you can't dump here. It's illegal to dump here, you can't dump here. He said, I'm not dumping, I'm going for a ride. And he pulled away. Sad part is, I know who the kid is, which was sad because But- they were dumping. Can we, by any chance, put fallen logs across the entrances? Or the pillars like we have going around the campground?
We had that there, I think, disappeared.
Something to keep these trucks from going back there and dumping. It's sad because it's beautiful back there and there's a mattress here, there's an electric spool there, there's a TV frame someplace else. There's a car door down by where you walk down to the stream. There's a car door sitting there. I mean, why? So if there's some way we can block that off, I know we had talked about blocking roads off before and we were told we can't do it with like gates.
I think you could do it with ballots. What do they call those things?
it'd be like a ballast, yeah, just wooden, made out of piling or old telephone pole or something.
Yeah. we
Right.
can-
I'll speak on that, I guess, a little bit, but we are, Jody and I have talked before about looking into cellular cameras because out by Garth is just the dumping grounds for everyone. So it's something that we have to look into. I don't know how much that'll stop them, but actually having a visual of the vehicle and possibly the tag would help the police department.
Oh, I have the tag.
Not-
Keith's caught a few of them by searching through the trash.
Yeah, my guys like are so mad about it, they can't wait for the bags to find. And we've had 4 out of the last 5 that we've gotten that way. In fact, we found a social security card in the one with a picture of the lady. So I told him, you don't solve this crime, you know? So, but the cell phone cameras, I think are something that we have to look into. And Debbie Garth out there, she's constantly picking up trash that people talk. She don't feel like burdening us with it, but I mean, you know, I'll go back to 2 weeks ago. Someone literally pulled down the road and unhooked a boat and trailer and drove away. A whole boat and trailer. Just gone, just left it in the middle of the road. So, you know, that gets towed away at the expense of the city. And so it's an ongoing problem. So I think at some point we're gonna have to really see about putting some sort of cameras out.
Yeah.
And there be cameras we can move and move to different locations. where we're
I'd
having
also like to
problems.
get a camera over here on this playground, if it's possible, to see who's cutting our swings and graffitiing them.
Unfortunately, there's like a monthly calls with right now, but last time I talked to Jeremy, but I know for the police ones, right, they're all like, they have to have an internet connection somewhere. for it to tie
Well, the
in, so-
roundhouse is right there.
That's true, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's all,
Yeah.
that's all,
Yeah.
like, our cameras are still up there.
Connect to the library.
Maybe better lighting, like it's a question of police, right?
If you put light there, they'll be there. all around.
Mhm.
The only other thing I had was, the campground where they have the, I don't know what they're called, baluses, the pillars that lead in as you lead in. Is there any way we can put an eye and like a chain all the way around the entrance area?
Hooking the balusters.
Yeah, like putting not, you know how you have a hook and eye, you're not gonna use the hook, but the eye, and then run like a chain or a rope or something through it, just to slow kids down. My fear is that there's a kid's gonna go running through there and they're gonna get hit by a car, because there is nothing to stop those kids, and they're full this weekend. There's not a site empty out at that campground, which is awesome. But there's gonna be a lot of kids running around, and when we were standing there, how fast was that guy coming in? He had to be going 55 coming down that road, and we were all standing in the parking lot.
I think a better bet, which I haven't done because we really haven't had too much money left this year. The year before, we were over budget a little bit, but would be to get a price for fencing. You can extend, like every year I try to extend the fence, but I haven't done it in a few years. So if you want to extend the fence, you could do a 4-foot black chain link fence instead of a 6-foot. You really don't need the 6-foot. And
Right, I
then
mean,
just
and-
buy a little section every year.
Right, you don't wanna take away from the aesthetics of the campground.
Yeah,
But-
you didn't notice black.
We wanna, keep the safety, so even if we long-term wanna put a fence up and start doing it, but for this season, is there any way we can do it to try to?
I'll take a look and measure the length, because I believe it's pretty long from what you're talking, right?
Yeah.
And you would be going down that whole road and all the way around to the dumpster.
Right,
area.
from where I was going the other way, from the dumpster all the way to the other road that goes in,
Yeah, the entrance.
the old entrance they don't use yet.
Take a look. I mean, you have to drill through or attach some mount to every pylon, so. Take a look.
All right.
I'm sure I'll be there soon. We'll be back out this.
I mean, I know we probably graded it so that it would be flat. I was wondering if the speed.
Lisa commented today how smooth the roads are, so it could be encouraging.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's encouraging, because this guy was flying, and when we yelled at him, he just kept going. He treated me like the guy with dumping. I'm nobody, apparently, because nobody cared, but, all right.
Can you bury a pillar and throw dirt over top of it as a speed bump?
You want me to make a jump for him? I
Right,
will.
don't we have issues with speed bumps? We can't put them up. We tried this.
It's, I mean, it's on a dirt road, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, that's,
There's
it's
some
not really
nails.
regulated motor vehicle service.
When they
People are expected to
run
go
something
35.
like that over, first thing they do is call Meg.
Yeah, when they knock them off. Yeah,
Well, we have to put the proper sign.
Yeah, you would definitely have to sign for it. I mean, you'll probably end up with, the uneven road surface and puddles and all of that in like a month or two, but. Yeah, exactly. You'll end up with those natural potholes showing up pretty quickly, but. Yeah, I mean, speed bumps tend to be more trouble than they're worth. People, if they don't see them, they go over them and they, rip something off their car and crash you. If they do see them, they slow down and then they gun it when they get to the other side, which at 11 at night.
What
it's
about
not great
tabletop?
for campgrounds. Yeah, I mean, there's a million different ways to do it, and being a dirt road, you can just sort of get rid of it, just pile up some dirt, and just make it so it's, just uneasy for people to go through.
Guys are gonna have a heart attack, how long it took to get it that.
Well, that's what I mean, it's always that balance, like everyone wants us to pave the road, and like pave it, like, oh, I'm just trying to go fast.
And do we have speed limit signs on that road? That was
Yes.
my question.
There is speed limit signs on that road.
And it is a city road, it has a mean.
Yeah, it probably meanders in and out of the right of way.
I don't have mine.
Be under.
Is it a 5 mile an hour speed limit? Like
Yeah, but we
campground?
probably would have to, I don't know what's actually in the ordinance, though, that might have to be added. Not quite
I know
sure.
the ordinance is posted on the other sign for the quads and ATVs, so
Yeah, everything else is posted.
you should be able to put, another speed limit sign or a couple more signs.
But in order to enforce it, the police will tell you that it has to be.
This way, ordinance to back it. Yeah, if not, the default speed's at 25.
Because there's a playground, so it would be 25 is pretty fast.
Yeah, on a tight dirt road, yeah.
Yeah, any campground you're at, it's 5 to 7 miles an hour.
Yeah.
They're pretty strict about.
4.5 miles per hour.
That draws your
Yeah.
attention.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea.
So I would suggest the ordinance that either add on to the parks and playground ordinance or make a new ordinance for the speed limit. In the campground and the lake area.
Great, thank you. Let's see who we at. Councilwoman Brown, licenses, ordinance, and school board.
We have a ordinance meeting that's kind of on the back burner because we have to meet with code enforcement first. That's why I've said that the meeting isn't going to be until June to kind of give that meeting a chance to be scheduled because they kind of go hand in hand. So if we have the ordinance meeting without having the code meeting, it's going to kind of be ineffective and we're going to have to kind of double back. So I'm trying to wait until we have all our ducks in a row. So when we sit down, we know exactly what we're addressing, what we can do, what we can't do, and get it done.
Sounds good. Anything for school board?
No, I don't have anything for school board.
All right, is that everything?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Councilman Dash.
Code enforcement, Councilwoman Brown, if you're available, we're trying to set up a meeting June 2nd via Zoom at 12 p.m. If you're available, just you can let me know off the record and we'll get that set up.
Yes, Steve, I'm available. Just send me a text.
Okay, I'll be sending a message out to everyone on code to see their availability, but it looks like June 2nd, 12 o'clock, if it's convenient for most of the members.
Sure, that works for me.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Timbers, land use and Aaron Eve.
Nothing for Aaron Hickman at this time. Land use, we did have a presentation from a potential cannabis applicant. They had actually received a license from the state, and they wanted to possibly locate at a location. Ron will probably give you more detail. And then, that's it.
Thank you. Meg, anything you just?
There was a safety meeting on Monday, and they did meet with the lifeguards in the evening, and management there just to go over some things with the lake to address, I think Donna was there and the mayor, and address safety issues. I wasn't there, but is that what they do? I believe so.
Yeah, they went over like ethics and things like that, like the normal employees.
So it was part of our insurance, so it was a good thing that they all got certificates that they participated in this training, so.
Great,
That's it.
thank you. Councilwoman Hesse, sustainable agriculture.
Sustainable Egg Harbor City has closed the registration for street trees as of last weekend. They received 60 requests for the trees. There's 4 of them on Philadelphia Avenue. And I just asked Keith, and he said they'd be able to remove them by the fall. And let's see, the list will be forwarded to Brian next week to prepare the tree planting plan for the New Jersey Urban and Community Enforcement Program. Also, I don't know, did you mention City Electric? Okay. Sustainable will be applying for another $5,000 AC Electric grant for funding for the nature trail at the lake.
Great.
So, that's what I'm hoping to do. And lastly, they would like to follow up on the commitment from Comcast to assist us to upgrading the audio and visual here in these chambers?
Just Jody did reach out.
I did reach out to the guy, he actually said Angela might be, spoke with you, so I think they're working on planning something to be agreement and all that. I have remembered.
Oh, do you? Okay, great. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Mayor, do you have anything from the chief?
Yeah, I have the report, it is, 3 burglaries, 1 fraud, 3 simple assault, 1 theft, traffic related, 11 motor vehicle accidents, 4 pedestrian stop check, 19 traffic stops, 4 traffic summonses issued, and 8 arrests. Alarm business 10, alarm residential 4, crime prevention activity 127, criminal mischief 1, 7 domestics, 23 EMS incidents, 1 firearms application, follow-up 10, property check 256, public service 7. And that's all.
Do you want to mention the officers, 1 officer
I
resigned?
wasn't done. We did have 1 officer resign to go to Brigantine Rosenberger. He's one of our new guys, and we will recoup the cost of his uniform, et cetera, from Brigantine. But she's working on that.
Is that everything? Mayor?
That's all I can find.
All right, great. Jody, CFO,
I don't have anything, thank you.
awesome. Meg?
I got it late, so I was hoping I didn't make the agenda, but to authorize Peace Pilgrim celebration again in July, I believe. Nanette, are you on there? I just got it in the mail. It's either, I think it's the 16th of July, which is usually a Saturday, Mayor. Yeah, so that's the 16th. They want to use Peace Pilgrim Park and they do their walk, they don't need police. There's about 30 people, they have a potluck thing out there, but they do it every year. So I just wanted to get permission for.
Sure. Anybody object to this? You got a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Angela?
Okay, so I have all good news to report. First on the Comcast. I had a meeting with the gentleman, Fred, who came here from Comcast. to Try to put some audio and visual money into the contract. So we may be able to get maybe 10,000, maybe 15,000, but he would like the contract extended from 10 years to 12 years. I didn't think that would be a big problem, so I asked him to submit me the contract, try to get it 15 to 20 as quickly as possible, and then, we talk about, but he seems agreeable. I think we're gonna get at least 12. Okay, so that should be enough money to get us some equipment, some microphones I told him we need. We would like a flat screen TV too, for the land use board, see if we could do that too. I threw that in, basically as much equipment as, we can get. We're just gonna get the money, a bigger one. Okay, but we're just gonna get a pot of money. So once this goes to the BPU, once the ordinance is agreed upon, it goes to the BPU. And then once the BPU approves it, within 60 days, you'll get a check. So you're not gonna get any equipment, you'll get a check for the equipment.
Sounds good.
That's it for podcast.
Great.
Second thing is, Mr. Sapar did sign his memorandum of understanding, the mayor did too, so that looks good. And, he put in his escrow, and that's really good. I have a lot of faith in that project for the county. And then finally, we have 4 pending sales. Mr. Frick was very good at selling these properties, and so we have 4 contracts that the mayor signed. One was 57,000, the other one was 3,500, 2,100, another one for 2,900.
Great. Sounds good.
And, yeah. And that's it. So thank you very much, unless anyone has any questions. Thank you.
Any questions? No? All right, thank you, Angela. Mr. Adams, Supervisor of Public Works.
I'm gonna be quick tonight.
Oh, yes.
I know everybody's eager to get back outside.
Nice book.
So utility department, I don't know if anyone noticed, but we had a run on water main breaks. They were buy one, get one free this month. So we had 76 calls for service. One thing to pay attention to, we had 211 mark out requests this month. That was off like by 100. So the weather's breaking, projects are starting. There's contractors, it seems like some days in every block of our town. Our metering is done and completed. Bills should be going out, I believe, the end of this month. We did a flushing program, which took us about 11 days total. We ended that flushing program in South Lake Harbor with the water main break, because it seems to be every time we flush, that happens, so we don't have to flush the hydrants over there. Going back to water main breaks, we had 3 of them in a 5-day span. 2 on a Friday, 1 on a Tuesday, and we did have a leak from one of the repairs that we did where we had to do service. We had to go back and dig that up yesterday and fix that. So it was a busy 5 days. Again, I go back to people answering the phone, getting out of bed, the contractor we have, credit to all of them. Everybody shows up and we all muddle through it together. None of us are happy to be there, but we all muddle through it together. So I will say that once the sale goes through, I look forward to the people of South Lake Harbor getting a reliable water service and pipes over there where they don't have to worry about, it going out every time for 6-8 hours at a time.
And getting
Usually in the middle of the night when they wake up.
and getting to sleep through the night.
Yeah, that part's it. So again, going back to the water plant, we've done a lot of contact with New Jersey American. They're very excited. We're getting closer. So a lot of effort back with them, bringing vendors in and security teams, and just getting them so they can get prepped for when it's finalized. Public Works. I know last month I talked about the electric panels at Lincoln Park. As soon as I talked about doing, Butch Kinsley went and cut the wood and offered us the wood right away. And of course, he came over to my house and dropped it off on Sunday. I think he could barely walk because he hurt his back. But here he is donating the wood. And kudos again to Gary Hess, who right up there, helps us out with the electric part. It's the guy that's been retired and still making an impact on this town. And appreciate both of them. Our sweeper down again. So the day of the water main break, we used it to clean up over there and it overheated, and we took it over and we thought we had it, and then the following water main break, we took it back over to South Lake Harbor, and it overheated really bad at the time where we had to tow it literally across the street to Highway Motors. So I've said it before and I'll say it again, when we finalize and the dust settles, I obviously have a wish list, but in that side of that wish list, I have a need list that we can hopefully prioritize at some point for all of us involved. That is going to be one of them. Grass, we're out doing grass. We're back in B-Rack again. Now this year, this will be our second year doing it. I go back to Gary. He's very happy that we're there. They're very pleased with work. And they changed the schedule to accommodate Crusaders games. So we got that going on. And finally, have to say that tomorrow when I go to school, the lake is prepped. There should be no other issues at the lake. For those of you that don't know, there are 4 paddle boats that get maintained and painted and cleaned and waxed, and countless girls, I don't even know how many are that get moved. It's a whole village that we take away and put back every year, and every year it seems to be, it's just a lot of work. So left there today, and it looks great. I think that this is one of the better years every picnic table has been on. Everyone is screwed together, no sharp edges. The beach is great, it's clean. The trees, we took down a 80-foot pine tree that was dead, suggested by the insurance company. So we're out there, we're doing it. And last thing I'll leave with, I know we talked about grading the roads. We were out there today, finishing the parking lot, and our grader broke in the parking lot. So as we speak, they're trying to fix that. So I'm gonna try to excuse myself after questions to go see how we can get out of that. So if it does run, I can get out there and move it back tonight. If not, I don't want to see it being a fixture for the parking lot over the weekend. I'm sure we won't love that, but
I have a couple quick things.
sure.
Did we ever get to the bottom of the gas company paving that terrace? I remember last meeting. There was the terrace that they dug up.
Fifth Terrace.
Fifth Terrace.
Yeah, they're gonna end up repaving.
Did you talk to them?
our restoration, I checked our permit required full restoration from either Atlantic or Philadelphia. all the way
Right.
to
I
DC.
brought that up. Did you let them know that by any chance?
I have not talked to them.
Okay. Because we have to stay on that because they're gonna leave and that's gonna be the end of that.
Well, the next time they apply for a permit, we just won't give it to them until.
Okay, but what you're saying though, will you be in there issuing permits?
Oh, yeah, they get 20 permits a year.
Well, I think it would warrant just
We'll
some sort of
definitely follow up,
outreach.
because we do have someone, I haven't spoken, to them, but we do have someone who's coming out and checking on the guys and their progress every day or every day. So I will remind him to speak to the guys in the field. We can shoot them.
So you have another big project coming too, where they're running down Walkville Road is.
I mean, most of those markouts is the gas pump. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, based on the amount of holes they put in the road, I can see
Yeah,
them not paving the
It's a
road.
requirement of their permit, and they have to do it to condition.
Well, we've got burned in the past, that's why I brought it up. The only other thing I want to say is that, I was at the mayor's meeting, we had a mayor's breakfast the other day, and a lot of the mayors and even the county were talking about how difficult it is to find public works employees. Now, I have brought this up before, and I'll just bring it up again. We have two very, very ambitious, very friendly, very hardworking, very nice men, young men who have joined our crew, and they love working here, and they love being on public works, and they're, potentially candidates to be employed by American Water. Now, we do have, I know that we probably haven't increased parks budget, the public works budget in a while, but honestly, I think that council should really consider bringing those full-time people on, because sooner or later, people are gonna start retiring, and there's a couple that could retire at any time. And we really need good people, and I just fear that we're gonna have a very hard time finding people after that May, we were at the mayor's meeting. Not an easy lift trying to find employees to work, and especially employees that love working here.
They do enjoy it here. I'll give them that much. They do enjoy it.
So I would ask the council to consider taking on 2 full-time employees in public works. Even though the water treatment plant's gonna close, the direction that we want to go in, as hopefully we'll be starting soon, is strategic planning. And, you see the difference of having scheduled work and, plans, even if it's not a long-term strategic plan. There's planned work that's organized now, and it takes a lot to do that. Keith is a hands-on supervisor, and he's also in charge. So, it's a heavy lift. And if you have employees, the sky's the limit. You can really get a lot of stuff done, like maybe tree trimming, regular pothole maintenance. Help me out, Keith. What else?
Yeah, I mean.
A lot of
all the
other-
way down
maybe-
to brush, service
Brush,
people.
yeah.
We're constantly picking up brush.
Woods,
Actually
maybe-
utilizing everything every day, that's the goal.
Grading and sleeping around the table.
Right now they are. But, so, appreciate it.
Was it you who painted the bell?
I did not think so. I believe that was part of,
The
Candace's.
Pilgrim Academy.
Yeah, they did.
Any other questions for Mr. Adams?
I do, I just wanted to know, as far as the trees that we spoke about, the electric part of it that I spoke about, should I ask Brian about that, or?
So it's pretty easy to handle because it literally is a flexible conduit that comes out of the ground. And they're attached to the trees. So basically when we are ready to plant the new trees, we're just trying to dig the old trees out, we'll plant them, and we'll reattach. Very easy. Right, yeah, so.
Just want to make sure.
Right, and if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna go check and see how he's making out with that for here. And pick you guys up.
That's
You sure?
Thank you, thank you.
Have a safe weekend.
Yep, you too. Have a good Memorial Day weekend.
No break.
Yes, I'm with you there, no breaks.
Ryan, anything engineers? report?
Yeah, two quick things to wrap up the thing Carl was talking about, the cannabis cultivation. They're in a property along White Horse Pike, which is a highway commercial zone. They are proposing cultivation. They have a micro business license that's only 25 square feet. So they'll need a use variance to move forward. So we're expecting an application next month. Then the only other thing is the thing on the agenda, which is 248 Chicago Avenue. This is a property that does not have access to the terrace. The city ordinance does not permit front access driveways, requires access from the terrace. They can't do that here, obviously. So our recommendation is to allow them to install a front access driveway. They'll have to meet all the city standards, details for curb and sidewalk, driveway, et cetera. They'll have to redo the depressed curb, install the press curb, do a concrete driveway apron, and then concrete where the sidewalk is, and then beyond that, they can do asphalt or stone.
Sounds good.
And we're talking just a single width driveway?
I mean, we can sort out the details with it, but yeah, that would be what we would look to permit, would be a single width driveway, about 10, 12 feet.
Read this resolution, because the ordinance prohibits.
Correct. So that's it for me, unless there's any questions. We went over Chicago Avenue's paid last week.
Nice job. Beautiful job.
Any questions for Ryan?
Yeah, I have a question. It was actually for Keith, Brian, and Meg and Jody. It's for four of you guys. Question for you. That one resolution we have coming up about that emergency repair and everything, is that able to be turned into JIF for reimbursement on that, since that was due to a fire? And
We're gonna try. We actually
Okay.
talked about it at our GIF meeting. They didn't think it would be that likely, but they, we kind of feel like trying. So
Just so you know.
Keith is gonna put something together for that.
The mains,
Yeah.
we lost the water mains in the fire, and it was due to pumping, I think we mentioned that already.
yeah, I was getting that, because that was hard use that was used on there. And Keith walked out before I had a chance to unmute. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, he did mention, no, Scott, he did, not to interrupt you, he did, I did talk about that with Keith, and he's gonna write something up to submit to the insurance company.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, moving forward, number 15, resolution to renew the following liquor license. Do you need a resolution for each one?
No.
Okay. For July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 23, listed are plenary retail consumption for Haney's Bar and Grill, Renault, FPS LLC, Virshama Incorporated, Narayan Shri LLC, and Narayan Shri LLC. May I have a motion? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 16 is a resolution to hire a part-time tax and utility clerk, Karen Luca, at the hourly rate of $16.70. May I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol,
Yes.
Ritchie.
Yes. A resolution to award emergency contract to Perna Finnegan Emergency Repair South Egg Harbor for South Egg Harbor water main break. May I have a motion? Second? Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Trithol,
Yes.
Ritchie.
Yes. Number 18 is being tabled. Number 19, resolution is the permit installation of the driveway 248 Chicago. May I have a motion? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
That was 19.
Yes.
18 is tabled.
19.
But that's the meeting.
That's the one.
Isn't that the one you tabled? No, we tabled the, 801, pull it up, yeah.
801.
Oh, how many ones on?
We don't have that one on ours.
Yeah, we don't have that one on ours.
Oh,
Well, the 118 White Horse Pike. we did.
Yeah, 108.
Yeah, and 118 Whitehorse Pike,
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. Miscommunication on my behalf. Back to number 18, resolution to support for suitability of a state licensed cannabis business by 108 LLC for 118 White Horse Pike. May I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
To number 20.
I get it.
Yeah, Number 20 is a public hearing for ordinance number 5 of this year, 2022, to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a capped bank. This is an annual ordinance that we do produce, correct? So if I can have a motion to open up for public hearing. Second. All right. Anybody from the public want to speak on this? I have a motion to close the public hearing. Second. All in favor? I have a motion to adopt. Second. Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Dash.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Tricol,
Yes.
Right.
Richie?
I'm Richie.
It's
been a long week.
Yes.
It's over.
I have a motion to advertise the notice of adoption of ordinance number 5, 2022. And I have to think is that for on June 1st. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I have a motion to pay the bills. Second. Roll call, please.
Brown. Brown.
Yes.
Dash.
Dash, yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Tricol,
Yes.
Richie.
Yes. Mayor, any last comments?
Just happy Memorial Day to everyone. Please remember those who lost their lives so that we can enjoy the freedom we have today. And I hope that I see many people out at our service. And I also have flags for council if you would like one. They're right here. You should grab one before you leave. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you. Councilwoman Heist?
Just prayers to the families in Texas and to all teachers out there that really do love their children in their class as they love their own children. People may not think that, but when you work in a classroom, you come to love those kids as you love your own kids. 2 teachers lost their lives protecting those children. So just God bless them all, and happy Memorial Day. Be safe. And don't eat too many hot dogs.
Councilwoman Brown?
I would just like to say to everyone to have a happy and safe Memorial Day. I would like to pay my respect to the men and women that gave the ultimate sacrifice so that we could have our freedom on this day and every day that follows and every day that comes before. The families in Texas are definitely in my prayers. As a parent that has been doing this for 23 years, it's kind of scary to see where our world is going. But you know, we just gotta stick together as one and try to do better by our kids, man. These are our kids we're failing here. That's all.
Thank you. Councilman Dash?
I'd like to remind everyone, late badges, get them this week before the price goes up. None of us want to see you pay more than you have to pay for them. And just something real quick. A lot of people complain about the water bills in Egg Harbor City, and you know, my family's in that pot as well. We all want to see some lower prices. But I just want to convey just a little short, quick little story. I had a plumber come out to my house a couple days ago just to do a little bit of a repair on an outdoor faucet. And when he went to do the repair, he was in the crawl space under my house, and he found that I had a leak in one of my copper pipes that I didn't even know about. So because it was in the crawl space, we weren't even aware that it was leaking. So that little bit of a renovation that I did for my faucet located a problem that we didn't know was going on and absolutely cost us extra water. So just a quick note, you may want to have just your stuff just looked over. For my family, it was well worth $100 to have the plumber come out and just take a quick look and do that quick repair. He went to Send Plumbing right here on Philadelphia Avenue, picked up the parts needed, and we were back up and running quickly. So that's it.
Thank you. Councilman Tricol?
Yeah, just prayers to everyone. Also remember why we celebrate Memorial Day. And that's it. Be safe and healthy, everyone.
Thank you. Councilman Timbers?
I wanted to talk about the tree planting process. Someone came to my house, they knocked on the door, and when I opened, they had a little 2-page brochure And it was how many trees you want, like 1 or 2, and then it was like, okay, well, what kind of tree? And at that point, I was actually totally thrown off by the number of options for a tree. And I started thinking, well, I live on the second house of a block. What's the rest of the block going to do? What's the other side going to do? Is it even going to make sense? The number of trees that I choose with just the aesthetic of the block. And I was hoping that maybe we could kind of revisit this process a little bit. Maybe there could be like an online map. Maybe Nanette can give some recommendations for trees for your particular block. Trees that, I don't want to pick the wrong tree, because I've heard you can pick trees that will, within a certain number of years, will raise your sidewalk.
They're not that kind of trees.
Okay, thank God.
We gave you a list of 2. So.
And
Still, it was a, no, I can still pick the
The
wrong tree.
application process is closed. That was a grant that we got for, I forget how much money, it's quite considerable.
It was this.
No, it came up. You better ask me, because I want trees. I
Yeah,
just
but
don't
the
know what.
grant, it's closed. If you wanted to order a tree, you had to do it already.
Oh, yeah, give me a tree.
Yeah, Dick went door to door.
It's closed. She has it on Facebook. It's closed.
I think it was very clear on what you were allowed and
Yeah.
what area there was.
So I didn't know
targeted.
what those trees were.
Right, yeah, if you're not familiar with
Yeah,
the
it was
species,
just-
it's just.
I was not.
But there was
Was not.
pictures on,
That was-
yeah,
I
on their,
understood.
on the site.
oh, sorry.
It's like when you locked in, you know?
My bad. I was overwhelmed.
No trees for you.
Sorry, Mr. Weaver, landscape architect.
I bet this guy has an artificial Christmas tree. If he got into that field, he wouldn't know what to do with himself. I'm just teasing.
No, and I do.
Is that everything? All right, thank you. Councilwoman Essie.
I'd like to send a shout out to Scott Sen and his band for the fundraiser they had at Cedar Creek High School this past week. If you haven't gone to one of his fundraisers, this was at the high school, you should make it a point to go the next time. It's great. Cedar Creek band and the chorus were very impressive. And I can't forget to thank the businesses that took out Page in support of the cause. There were so many of them. The next thing I would like to congratulate Cedar Creek girls softball team for making it to the sectional game once again. Unfortunately, they didn't win it, but they made it there, and that's a big thing.
We did have a parade planned this evening.
Lastly, I would like to thank everyone who participated in the citywide cleanup for doing your part in our great community of Bay Harbor City. Every year after participating in this cleanup, I say we really need to work on enforcing our trash can ordinances. So when we get to the ordinance committee meeting, I definitely would like to get on that because it's important. There are no lids on so many of them, and that's a lot of the trash that we have out here. And squirrels get into it, and I mean, we have ordinances here. And I mean, I have it right in front of myself, and it specifies what you need, what kind of trash cans, so they need to follow up on this. And that's all I have to say. And have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend.
And I'll add something to Kim, she's right on the money with that, because people, Keith and I tonight, when we were coming back from the lake, picked up 4 bags of trash on Arago Street that were just laying in the city right away. And this was after, it was 4 o'clock, 4:30. If that sat there all weekend, the animals would have gotten in it, scraped, opened the bags, and there were just trash everywhere. And these ordinances really have to be enforced. We have the ordinances, we don't need new ordinances, but we need to enforce them. So I would say that, council, if you ride around or you see trash cans that don't have lids, call code or text them. Take a picture, send it to code, and let them take care of it. A lot of times it's just a matter of calling the landlord and saying, hey, you need to have a trash can full in you know, your people or a resident, whatever. And I will be sending something out soon, some informational things, like, about trash cans and also pickups and when you should put your trash out, and put your recyclables out, not leave it there all week for the animals to go. So you're absolutely right.
That would help a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I open up public comment, I just want to say one thing about Memorial Day. I read the quote to that, and it really hit home with me. Simple. We didn't know them all, but we owe them all. Just keep that in mind this weekend when we're with our family. If it wasn't for those, we wouldn't have what we have today. So with that, I'd like to open up the public comment. Sure, step on up.
Careful, Mary.
Yeah.
You stand right in front of me.
Okay. Mary Campbell, Bitburg Manor. Wednesday, at the urging of an acquaintance, I went over to the Roundhouse to the little museum thingy. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it. I was like, wow, this place used to be like a couple of years ago, but still, I mean, I definitely learned a lot, and I was like, oh, well, that explains that little thingy over there down the road. I really, really liked it, and I'll probably go back because the person I was with was a little time pressed. But I made my friend laugh because when we were leaving, and I don't remember the gentleman's name that was there. Looks like he was here when the cover started. No, I'm sorry, he was definitely a senior. But yeah, maybe. But it was cute when we walked out. He pointed to the small stone pillar. I mean, he's like, "Do you know what that is?" I'm very sure my answer was not the technical term, but I said, "Oh, that's the horsey tie up thing." I was right, but he said that's the horsey tie up thing. But I wanted to say that was only taken me 19 years of living in Egg Harbor to do that. But it was surprisingly, it was informative. It was really great.
You know, Mary, that is a historical society, right? That's what it's called. So you can actually join and go to the meetings if you want. Call that number.
Okay, because like my friend was like,
Something funny
it's like,
on Monday.
and I am definitely a huge history buff, because I have to say, but oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a horsey tie up thing.
Yeah.
But, so.
And then they
yeah.
use volunteers, like if you ever want to sit there during the
Well,
day.
it's funny because I was just sitting there, what can I do?
There you go, see, you got it.
I know we got a bummer.
And let me know when you're there, I'll come visit.
Okay.
I'll just browse around.
Well, here's my little bummer, and again, I am so thrilled for all the new painting in the crosswalks, and totally astounded when I was walking around yesterday and finding people crossing between them, and I'm like, why would you do that? But my curiosity, and it would probably take someone like Brian to explain to me, but about a month and a half ago, I was coming back from an event in Philly, like 2 a.m. in the morning, and it happened raining, and got off the bus and I was at the Dunkin' Donut. Oh my God, I couldn't cross. It was so flooded, and so were the other corners there. I literally couldn't step off, like the water was up to the height of the curb. And, farther down, it was more shallow. But that, even though 2 in the morning is not a lot of traffic, but that would have had me stepping 8 or 9 feet away from the crosswalk, and you guys know me, but, and I was like, geez, so I wasn't quite sure how wet I wanted my shoes to get to walk 5 blocks. But if I had stepped off, quote, where you're supposed to at the crosswalk, I couldn't, the water would have been over my shoe. And I mean, I do see that there were drains, and I'm like, they just did all this, how is this happening? And unfortunately, in my great desire to not step through 6 inches of water and then walk 5 blocks, I won't say the decision I made, but it was a really stupid one that I will never do again. But I was just sort of wondering why those corners with all that road work and seeing that there's drains. So I just wanted to say that and it was a very long night for me to go to Philly, based on a 13-hour day. But, and I really wasn't willing to step into the White Horse Pike 6, 8, 10 feet away from the crosswalk. So yeah, I did make a dumb decision, but I don't know what it is, but yeah, it was extremely flooded.
So DOT added a whole bunch of inlets. And piping, they connect all the inlets. They could not upgrade the pipe that actually discharges all that water across the town. But inlets have a capacity of how much water can get in and out quickly.
Is that what I'm referring to,
Yeah,
like the
they're-
drains?
Yeah,
or
there's
whatever?
stormwater. Most of them, the ones with the curb piece are type B. They need a depth to be able to bring water in. They can get a little trickle without any depth. They need depth for them to function. You need some depth of the water for it to actually come into the structure. Unfortunately, with ADA rules, the ramps are at the corners and they're typically right next to where the inlets are.
Okay.
So during a heavy event, you need that depth to get the water into the inlet, and it's right where the crosswalk happens to be. So I would bet that if as soon as it stopped raining, within 2 minutes, it probably was no water there, but during that heavy rainfall, that's kind of how it's designed to work. You actually just
Well,
spray
yeah, it was still raining. I took like 5 minutes trying to figure out how wet I wanted to get.
Sure. Understood.
Like walking in the rain, I would have been fine, but stepping, drenching, and besides, it's to kill off your shoes. But it just puzzled me, like they did all that road work and I saw the drains. I couldn't figure out why there were like 6 inches of water.
You just end up with too much too quickly. It's all about the rate. If it rains an inch over the whole day, it's not a big deal. If it rains an inch in 15 minutes, it's just too much too quickly.
Yeah.
So like I said, you need that depth for the inlets to function.
And I mean, it was 2 in, so I couldn't like see any of it. I mean, like looking across at the proposed wall, I was like, hey, there's water over there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just, I don't know, go down to St. Louis or something. Thank you, I was just curious.
Sure.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Nope, all right. Everyone have a great holiday weekend. Have a motion to adjourn. Yes. Second. Oh, I'm sorry.